Hi everyone, welcome to class. I'm Kate. I'm an English teacher here on Verbling. And today's class is a grammar and speaking class. Essentially, we'll be practicing using the second conditional in speaking. So we'll be doing this by talking about hypothetical situations, and hopefully we can have fun with this. Okay, so hi Essen.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. So, while we're waiting for the other students to arrive,
Yeah.
you told me that so tell me about your English learning background again. I remember you told me, but I don't remember everything.
Actually, it was 3 years ago. I've been in the United States to learn English,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been in there for 2 months. And after that, yes, actually, I knew something before I go there, just you know, because of my high school education.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to there. After that, actually, I didn't do anything to improve myself. Then this year, I I started to study again, and
Nice.
now I'm here.
And you're a university student now?
Yes, I am.
Very cool. Okay. And let's see who's just joined us. Hi, Amaury.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. I just wake up a couple of minutes.
You just had coffee?
Yes.
Good. I need a coffee. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
But I'm good. Okay, so Amari and Essen, have you studied the second conditional before?
No.
No, okay. Essen, have you?
No, I
No.
haven't.
Okay, good. So this will be new for you. Okay, and we'll see if what the other students' experience is as well. Hi, Nacho.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well too.
Good. Um, so, Nacho, have you studied the second conditional before?
Yes,
Yes?
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
All
a
right.
few times. Yeah.
And so you know the basic structure at least?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. So we'll have different, okay, let's see who else is here. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Kathleen.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you for asking.
Good. And Victor, have you studied the second conditional before?
Yes, of course,
Okay.
many times.
Many times. Okay, good. So this is some extra practice for you.
Yes,
Okay.
I know about that, but it's too difficult to use in practice. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I know the theory.
Okay, good. Great. So I'll give you all an idea of what we'll be doing in today's class. So this is a speaking class, speaking/grammar class, I suppose. It'll be focused on speaking, but that speaking will be using the second conditional. And to use the second conditional, we'll be talking about hypothetical situations. So hopefully we can have some fun with this discussion. So what we'll do today, first I'll do a quick review or a quick teaching for those of you who haven't learned the second conditional. I'll just give you the structure or remind you of the structure, what tenses we use, and then we'll jump into the speaking practice so we can really make sure everyone has a chance to use it and everyone understands and feels comfortable using it by the end of the class. Okay. And hi, Mustafa.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well.
Good. Mustafa, have you studied the second conditional before?
No.
No. Okay. Good. So this will be new for you as well. Okay. So a few of you said you were familiar with the second conditional. For those of you does anyone know the structure? So does anyone know how we form the second conditional?
No idea.
No idea. Okay. First of all, what's a conditional? What is a conditional sentence?
Actually, if something happens, I would do it and stuff like that, basically.
Yeah. So conditionals are if sentences.
Yes, if sentences in a present and second part of sentence in past, I would do it.
Okay, almost. So there are different types of conditional, right? There's the first conditional, which is used to talk about real situations. So if the weather is nice, we will go to the beach. Okay, hold on one second. I'm typing of the first conditional, right? This is used for real situations, so not hypothetical, real. And this, I think, is maybe what you were thinking of. In the if clause, in first conditional sentences, we're using present tense. And then in the main clause, you'll notice that we're using the simple future. So will go. Right? And so this is something that is very real. It's possible. So we use the first conditional. Okay, so now we get to the second conditional. And these if sentences, as we mentioned before, are talking about hypotheticals. So sort of unreal situations. So let's see if we can change. So does anyone think that he could give an example of a sentence that uses the second conditional?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
For example, if I were rich, I would buy a car, a big car.
Perfect. Okay, great. So if I were rich, I would buy a car, right? Okay, very nice. And so what tenses are we using here?
The conditional.
Yeah, okay. So what in the if clause, in the first conditional we use the present simple, right? Is. But in the second conditional we use something else.
Past.
It's the past simple.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, and then in the main clause we're using, as you said, the conditional tense, which is would plus the infinitive.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So is this clear for everyone? Are there questions about this so far? Okay, so, all right, so let's look at the difference between the first and second conditional to make sure this is clear. Okay, if you study hard, you will get good marks.
This is the first condition.
Versus if you studied hard, you would get good marks. Okay, so as you said, one of these sentences is in the first conditional, and one is in the second conditional. Which one is in the first conditional?
The first one.
The first one, right? And so again, we're using the present simple and the simple future. And this is, who would you say this to? Would you say this to a good student or a bad student?
The first conditional, you can say to anyone because you are talking about the future. What is going to happen if you do something?
So imagine these are, you're right. Imagine these are two sentences that I'm saying to a student in my class, right? And there are two students that I could be talking to. One is a good student, and one is a not so good student. He's kind of a bad student. So which one would I say this sentence to in the first conditional? Which student do I think, yeah, it's likely or possible that that if this student studies hard, he will get good marks?
Probably the good one.
Good one.
Yeah, the good student. Absolutely. Good. Right? So here it's a likely situation, right? If this student studies hard, which I think he will get good marks. First conditional, real situation. Okay, and what about the second conditional?
It is kind of in the future, so you're saying to him like if you did, you would get, but he didn't, so he wouldn't.
Okay, not that he didn't, but that I don't think he's going to, right? So I would say the second sentence, that if you studied hard, you would get good marks. I would say this second conditional statement to a poor student, a bad student, because I don't think that he's going to study. I think it's unlikely that he will study. Right? Is that clear?
Actually, not that clear because I think it sounds like he didn't study hard, so he couldn't get good marks. At the same time,
Okay,
it
so
means
one of the
also that
confused.
one, right?
No, so that's actually the third conditional. So
Oh.
what's confusing about the second conditional, which we're not going to cover today, but what's confusing about the second conditional is why, although one verb is in the past tense, right? We have studied,
Yeah.
the verb in the past tense, but the sentence is still talking about the present or future, right? So we're actually not talking about the past. And this can be quite confusing for some learners. So we're talking about a hypothetical present or future. So even though the verb is in the past tense, we're not talking about the past.
Okay. Very
Teacher, so
confusing.
why we say this? Why we say in the past if you studied hard? Why this?
Okay, so I think what we should talk about is the difference between those two sentences, right? So let's look at the first sentence. If you study hard, you will get good marks. Right? This is a first conditional sentence. It's real. It's likely. I would say this to a student who I think is capable and who is likely to study. Right? Simple. If you study, if X happens, then Y will happen. I think it's possible that you will study, and if you study, you will get good marks. Whereas, in the second sentence, it's the same tense, or the same time, we're still talking about a student in the present or future, but it's much more unlikely. It's hypothetical. So here I'm saying, this student, I'm talking about a student who is a terrible student. He never studies. He never does his homework. He barely ever comes to class. Then I'm saying, well, if, in a magical world, if he decided to study hard, then he would get good marks. But I don't think this is likely.
Understood.
Okay, is that a little bit more clear?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. All right, good. Okay, good. So yeah, it's complicated. It's confusing that we use a verb in the past to talk about the present, but that's English. So, okay, so let's see if we can jump into some speaking practice with this, and we'll see if this, if it becomes a little bit more clear. Also, welcome to those of you who joined us. Hi, Herman.
Hi.
Hi. Have you studied the second conditional before?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. All right, but did you hear the explanation?
Just a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
make sure you stop me with any questions, okay?
Of course.
Okay, good. Hi, Ali.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks. And hello, Abdallah.
How are you, teacher?
Hi, good. How about you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some questions using the second conditional, and I want you to I'll open it up to the group. Anyone can answer, but I want you to answer. Yes.
Teacher, I have a question. Could you give me an example for the second condition, because I didn't understand very well.
Okay, so let's look at this one.
For example, if I were rich, I would buy a car or something like that.
Yep.
It's okay. It's the second.
Yes, that's the second conditional. So here's another example. If I had $1 million, I would travel around the world. So,
okay. In that case, if I had $1 million, it's like something like not impossible, but difficult to do to happen.
Right,
Okay.
and it depends on the person, right? If I'm saying this, I'm using the second conditional because I'm a teacher, right?
Okay.
Do you think it's likely or unlikely that I have $1 million disposable?
Okay, thank you.
It's unlikely, right? So second conditional. If I had $1 million, I would travel around the world. Whereas maybe Bill Gates could express a similar thought using the first conditional.
Okay, if you had $1 million, share with us.
If I had $1 million, I would share with my Verbling students. Okay. All right. Yeah. Was that helpful?
Yes,
okay.
teacher. Thanks so much.
Okay. Good. So, so questions for the class. Okay. So I want you to look at these second conditional questions and answer using the second conditional, and try to elaborate on your answers. Right. Don't just say one sentence.
Yeah, teacher. Sorry, just I have a comment.
Okay.
It came only in these structures, or maybe different, maybe in different tense. Because now, and if you studied only in the past, you would in the future. So it came only in this structure or different?
Yeah. So a good question. So with the second conditional, it's past tense, and the past tense and the conditional tense, right? However, you can switch the order of the sentence, right? You just have to keep the verbs in the same relative place. So you would get good marks if you studied hard.
Yeah.
For instance, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you can change the order. You just have to make sure that after if, you're using the past tense.
Okay.
Right? So notice that the tenses, they moved with the verbs.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So a question for the class using second conditional. If you won the lottery, what would you buy? And notice again, in the if clause, what tense is the verb?
If you won the lottery, what would you buy? I would buy a lot of houses if I won the lottery.
Good, excellent. I would buy a lot of houses if I won the lottery. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mustafa, what would you buy?
I would buy a limousine car.
Good. So say a full sentence.
Yeah, sorry?
So say the full conditional sentence.
I would buy a limousine car if I won the lottery.
Good. Good. Okay, anyone else?
If I earned in the lottery, I would to travel for different countries.
Good. Okay, great. One thing though. Here, hold on. Okay, so you want to make sure, I think you said if I won the lottery, I would to travel.
I
Make
would
sure,
to travel.
so not to travel, just travel, right?
Okay.
With modal verbs like would, could, should, we always have, we can never have to afterwards.
Okay.
It's the bare infinitive. Okay, but otherwise good. You would travel.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, another question. Where would you like to go if you won a free plane ticket?
If I won a free plane ticket, I would like go to Australia
Why?
because it's very it's very far.
It's very far.
Very far, yes.
Okay, good. Excellent, Nacho. Anyone else?
Yes, teacher. If I have a free plane ticket, I would like to go to Italy.
To Italy. Okay, why is that?
Because my grandma is from there.
Oh, okay, very nice. So you could visit family.
No, not really, because my grandma is living in Brazil right now.
Oh, okay. But you have, I don't know, it's part of your heritage, your culture.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's see. Essen, what about you? Where would you like to go if you won a free plane ticket?
If I won a free plane ticket, I would go Prague, probably.
Good. You would go to Prague. Very nice. And why would you go to Prague?
Because I have a friend in there, so I would love to see him again.
Okay. Oh, very nice. I've heard that Prague is beautiful.
Yes, it's really beautiful. You must be there.
Good. All right. Let's see. Ali, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Wow. If I were an animal, I would be an eagle, maybe.
An eagle. Okay. Why?
Because I can fly, and
I
I
could
think,
fly.
yeah, I could fly. I think it's exciting when you watch the world from the sky. It's a kind of freedom for you, I
Very
think.
nice. Good. Very cool. Great. And let's see. Who else? Herman, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
If I were an animal, I would like to be an lion,
A lion. Okay. Why is that?
because lions are very strong. They could eat and have sex whenever they want.
Okay. So you could pretty much do whatever you wanted.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. And Abdallah, what about you?
Okay. I if I were animal, I would like to be lion because no one could eat me.
Because no one could eat you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can eat anyone.
But you could eat anyone. Good. Okay, so similar. Very nice. Okay, are there any other responses to that one?
Yes, actually, I would love to be a lion too, because
Interesting. A lot of lions in this class.
Yes, because
Wow.
the Gryffindor's animal is lion, and Lannister has a lion, so most of the sport clubs has a lion in their sportwear,
Uh-huh.
and then so it's supposed to be a good and strong animal, right?
A good, strong animal, yeah. So in Harry Potter, in Game of Thrones.
Yes, definitely.
Nice. Good.
Another answer.
Mhm.
If I were an animal, I would like to be an elephant
Okay. Why?
because I always think that to have a trunk could be very useful.
What would it be useful for?
Because this is like a third arm, like a third arm, a very long arm, and you can
Like a third arm.
take advantage and take water and everything.
Yeah, that's true. So you could drink water and then do other things with your hands.
Yeah.
And people say that elephants are very wise.
Very wise.
Very wise, very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Amari, you would be a bird?
Yes, teacher. I forgot the name in the animal falcon. I don't know.
A
I
falcon.
don't know English.
Falcon.
Yes,
In
I would be like a falcon, because I could be fly or something like that.
Because I could fly.
I could fly. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Very good. Good. Okay, I like this next question. If the world was going to end at 3:37 tomorrow afternoon, what would you do up until that time?
It's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question.
If the world was going to end at 3:37 tomorrow afternoon, I would go to visit my family in my country.
Okay. One problem in that sentence.
Okay.
It said, if the world was going to end, blah, 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 I would go to visit my family.
Okay.
You have an extra word in this sentence.
Go to would.
Does anyone know what's extra here?
Would be?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can just take out the be. So I would go to visit or go visit my family.
But we could say also I would be going. Yeah.
I would be going. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Actually, I'm asking.
Okay, in this case, it sounds a little bit strange. So there, you wouldn't want to use the continuous. I would be going to visit, if the world were going to end. Yeah, no, there I would just use the simple conditional tense. So would and the bare infinitive. Okay, good. It's not common. Mustafa?
Yeah, I think if using be, maybe not common, teacher. If we said I would go, it's maybe more familiar and more correct.
Yeah, so you just say, I would go visit my family, is pretty much, yeah. Okay, good.
More correct than said I would be going. So,
yeah, because that implies that that you're in this process of going there, when what we mean to say is, we would just go there. So that's the thing, is the progressive tense, or the progressive tense implies duration, right? You're talking about like a period of time. And here we're just saying, no, I would go there. Simple. Okay. All right, questions about that? Okay, that was a good question, Asin. All right, other responses to this one. If the world was going to end, what would you do?
I would say goodbye to family, and then I'm I would look for a beautiful girl and stole a kiss
and
and
and steal a kiss.
told to her that the war is end tomorrow at 3:37.
Good.
Us.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Good. And remember, with would, so you said I would find a beautiful girl, and I think you said would stole. So what you want to use the present tense. I would steal a kiss, right? Because there, with after would or other modal verbs, you'll want to use the present tense. Okay, but otherwise very good.
Okay, I will steal.
Good. Perfect. Yes. Excellent. Good. And what about the rest of you? What would you do?
If the world was going to end, I would drink until the end.
Okay. Good. If the world, also perfect grammar. Good. If the world was going to end, I would drink until the end. Okay. Very nice, Ali. Okay. Good. So, are there any questions so far about the structure, or about this specific, about the second conditional, basically, or about how we're using it?
Actually, what in my opinion, my conclusion about this, the second conditional,
Yes.
talking about maybe issue that's maybe not happening or not real or something like that.
Exactly. There are hypothetical situations.
Yeah, hypothetical situation actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was confusing actually at the beginning of class, and maybe if you see the question, it will be like normal for me and like classic question, but uh, it's nice to know this is like called a second conditional if it's not real or something like this.
Yeah, uh-huh. And we actually use this when giving advice to people. It's a common, there's one common thing we say that uses the second conditional. Does anyone know what that is?
If I were you.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
A question.
Yes.
Caitlin. I thought that if I were you, for example, we use I were, no I was.
Mm-hmm.
In your question, if the war was going to end,
yeah.
I should have.
Both are. Here's the thing.
Have said
Okay.
if the war were going to end.
Yes, excellent question. Okay, so this is a very curious thing about English grammar. So as Nacho said, why would we use was sometimes and were other times? Okay, so if you think about it, the past tense for the first and third person of the verb to be is what?
Was.
Was, right? But in English, traditionally, what we've done is we've said were. And I think this is left over from Old English when they had a subjunctive tense. So if that means nothing to you, ignore it. If that's helpful, good. But basically, so we say if I were and if he were, we use were instead of was. However, a lot of people in the last 20, 30, 40 years have begun using was instead of were. And it's become acceptable as well. So essentially, you have the choice. To me, just to my ear, were sounds better, right? So I'm not sure why I used was in that sentence earlier, but were to me sounds better. Both was and were for the first and third person of to be in the past in the conditional are correct. You have to
Wow.
specify a lot, but is that helpful, Nacho?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So basically, you can choose. I think were sounds better, but I don't have a particularly good reason why. It's just to my ear, it sounds better.
Sorry, teacher. You mean in the last sentence, if the world was going to end?
We're talking about, so if you look at the sentence, if I were you, I would study more.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if we add a sentence like this, or oh, yeah, and also if the world were going to end.
Yeah, because maybe
Da-da-da.
if the world, it's related to the. Oh, okay, okay.
So either of those we could use was or were, right? Because the correct past tense, if this were a simple past sentence, would be was. But traditionally, this has been an irregularity in English, and we've used were instead. But now, recently, they've decided that either is correct. You can say, if I were you, I would study more, or if I was you, I would study more.
Yeah, but maybe teacher, in the first sentence, if I were, maybe it's correct. It can be correct. But the second one, if the word were,
Yes.
maybe it's not too familiar.
It's correct, yes. And so here, if the world were going to end, if the world was going to end. Both are equally correct. I think were sounds better to me, but I don't have a good reason why. The traditionally correct way to say these two sentences has been using were, but more and more native speakers are using was, so the grammar gods have decided that both are okay.
I think in the future, was will win.
Was will win. I think so too. The way the language is evolving. It's easier. Okay, other questions?
It's a lot of confusing between them actually.
I
Because
know.
we can use both of them, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's a bit complicated, the second conditional.
And maybe the problem, the big problem if the teacher was examining you, don't know, maybe both of them are correct.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, so so I've asked you a lot of these questions, right, using the second conditional, and it seems like for the most part you have no problems forming answers when you have the structure right there. What I want you to do now is I want you all to come up with the questions. So I want you to try to think of some questions in the second conditional, so hypothetical questions that you can ask your classmates. Okay, so try to think of one or two questions that use the second conditional, hypothetical questions that you can ask your classmates. And whenever someone has a question,
I have a question. I have.
You have one? Okay.
Yeah, I have. If you could fly, where would you go?
Great. Excellent. So Mustafa's question is, if you could fly, where would you go? Who can answer this question?
Maybe Ali because he's the eagle.
That's true.
If I could fly, I would go to highest point on the world, maybe Everest.
You would go to Mount Everest. Very interesting.
Maybe the highest peak, we can say, teacher?
You can say the highest peak. Absolutely, yeah. So a peak is the top point of a mountain. Very good, Mustafa. Good. Let's see. Essen, what about you?
You mean, do I have a question or?
If you could fly.
Okay. I would go to Prague.
You would go to Prague.
Yes.
You would go to Prague for free.
Yes, like because before the classes I was checking the plane tickets, but they were really expensive. So
It's always really expensive to go there.
yes,
Yeah.
it's
What
right now
happened?
kind of obsession. Like I have to go to Prague, I have to go to Prague, but how? By fly, by what means I don't matter. So I will go.
Good. Good. And let's see, Nacho, what about you?
About me, if I could fly, I would go. I would go flying everywhere and try to avoid all the traffic jams.
Good. So if you could fly, you would fly everywhere and avoid traffic. So no rush hour.
Yes.
Good. Herman, what about you?
If I could fly, I would like go um, so high until it can not be more altitude.
Good. Okay, so you would like to go as high as possible.
Yes,
So like into space even.
yes.
Okay, very adventurous. And Abdallah, where would you go?
Okay, if I could fly, I will following my girlfriend everywhere without he can see me.
Good. I would not following, I would follow.
Yeah, I would follow.
You would follow your girl, you would spy on her.
Yeah.
You would make sure she's not doing anything bad.
Yeah.
So you don't trust her.
Not exactly, but I would see her every day and every moment.
Okay, that's nice.
But not, yeah.
If you put it that way, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good, okay. Who else has a question for the class? Let's hear more questions using the second conditional.
Actually, I have.
Okay.
Okay, if you born as opposite of your current gender, what would be the first change in your life?
Good.
Can you repeat, please?
If you born as opposite of your current gender, what would be the first change in your life?
Good. So if you were born the opposite gender, yeah, what would be the first change in your life? That's a good question.
Actually, I based on a Beyonce song, you know, if I were a boy,
Yeah.
I think I could understand.
And notice
Yeah.
that Beyonce says were and not was,
Yeah.
right? She says, if I were a boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Beyonce is a very smart lady. Okay. Mustafa, you said OMG, why?
I don't know. I just thinking.
You don't know how to answer this question?
I can answer.
Okay.
If I were born the opposite of my current gender, I would like to be a lesbian because I like a lot of girls.
Okay. All right, continuing with the
So you
theme.
wouldn't change anything.
So you wouldn't change anything. Okay, who else?
If I were born opposite my current, if I were born a woman, the first thing I'd change would be clothes.
Your clothes. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start, right? Otherwise, you would look a little bit silly. Okay, very good, Nacho. Who else? This is a tough question, Essen.
So is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good one. I like it. I think it's a good question. Let's see, Abdallah, what about you?
Actually, I'm still thinking, but I'm thinking, what if Mm, I'm trying to get the situation where I can find mm, the best thing about translate from translate to gender.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think I will first thing I will try to find the new friends as a girls.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you would try to find new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Good.
If I were born woman, the second thing that I changed could be my hairdresser.
You're a hairdresser. Good. So Nacho has this thought through. First the clothes, then the hair. Good. Excellent.
You have to take advantage of the situation, the news.
Absolutely. You have to take advantage. I like that attitude. And Essen, what would you do?
I don't have an answer. So,
You ask us a question,
yeah, I know,
you
but
couldn't
you
answer
were
it.
you were talking about if I were or I was, what's the point? And I remember the song If I Were a Boy, so I thought that it would be a good question. So, but I don't know the answer.
Okay, and we have someone in the Burbling chat who said, I would throw myself off a cliff, lol. That's a little sad. I don't think it would be that bad. It's a little dramatic, but anyway.
I think I would be a naughty girl, make a lot of boyfriends.
Okay. So you said, so if you were born a girl, you would be a naughty girl with a lot of boyfriends.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Okay,
And
I
Mustafa,
if I were born the opposite of my current gender, I would go to the charm to come back again.
so you would ask the genie or whatever to change you back. Got it. Okay.
Also, I found that I would be like, honey, I want to go to football match and I don't want to spend time with you, so I have to go and just have a beer. So because I don't understand anything about you, so I would be like this really.
So you wouldn't mind it.
Yes, like
Good.
sort of.
So yeah, you could see the positives. You could see the positives. Okay, very good. Let's hear some other questions.
For example, if you could choose in what country would you prefer to live?
Good. So he said, if you could choose, in what country would you prefer to live? Very good.
If I could choose in what country I would prefer to live, I would okay, so I'll restructure it again.
Okay.
I could choose, I would prefer to live in either USA or Turkey.
Nice. Okay, and why is that?
Just actually I prefer USA, but maybe Turkey.
So you could hang out.
Like, can I
So you
ask?
could hang out with Ali and Essen.
Yeah, you can say that.
Why there's a huge difference between the United States and Turkey. Why?
Yeah.
You know, when I went to Turkey, it was so beautiful. I like Turkey. The nature is so beautiful. The sea and the ship, or I don't know what it's called exactly. And they have two parts, eastern part and the western part, and this bridge connect between them. I like the nature there, but USA is more maybe large and a lot of things there, and yeah, it's a lot of maybe it's more suitable to live there, to live your life. It's like heaven.
Interesting. And remind me where you were. You were in what
Okay.
state? in the U.S.?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay. Okay, interesting. And so, yeah, the way you restructure that was good, right? If I could choose, I would live or I would prefer to live in the USA or Turkey. Good. And the rest of the class.
Okay. If I could choose, I would prefer to live in Australia or Canada.
Okay. Also two very different places.
Yeah, there are big countries, and they are not crowded, and they have development democracy, something like that, and there is a high quality lifestyle, I think.
Mm-hmm. So high quality of life. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And let's see. What was I going to ask you? Oh, so maybe you could go to Australia with Nacho.
Yes.
Nacho also wants to go to Australia, right?
We can go together flying.
Good. Okay, and who else? Other places you would go?
Prague.
What? Prague? You said Prague?
No, if I just told about your answer, maybe.
No, actually, I want to go there, but just for a week. It will be enough, really. I want to live there.
You don't want to live there?
Yes, just for a week, it will be enough.
Good.
Yeah, for
And
me,
so, yeah, go ahead.
for me, I would prefer to born or live in Britain or Scotland.
In Britain or Scotland? Okay, why?
I want to get their accent in
You
English.
you would like to have their accent in English?
Yes.
Yes. I like British accents. I think they sound very elegant.
Yeah, it's especially Queen accent or
The
Queen
Queen's
language.
accent? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, she sounds very just very elegant. I don't know how else to say it.
The Scotland accent is very hard. It's very difficult.
Very difficult to understand. Australian accents are difficult also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even understand what they're saying. So you and Ali would have to you might need a translator in Australia. No, you would be fine. Let's see, and Hirvan, where would you go?
I would like go to Australia or a country. It could be, I don't know, China or Japan, because these are countries that are so far away
Mm-hmm.
from where I am.
And would you live there?
Yes, maybe not for a long time, but 1 year or 6 to 6 months to realize the country and the culture.
Good. Interesting. Okay, and let's look at your question that you typed, Hirman, in the Verbling box.
Yes, if you were maybe a superhero, what would you like to do? Or maybe what powers would you like to have?
Good. So if you were a superhero, what would you like to do? Or what powers would you like to have? That's a good question.
Actually, I would love to have a wand, so I will be able to do anything. You know, if I have a wand,
I think that's cheating.
not that much. They exist, you know.
Yeah. Good. Okay, so you would like to have a wand, and then you would be able to do whatever.
Yes.
Good.
Sorry, what would her like to do?
She would like to have a wand.
Want.
Like in Harry Potter, they have a wand.
Like stick and
It's like a stick that you
Oh,
wave.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
Good.
Mhm.
And the rest of the class, what power would you like to have?
If I were a superhero, I would like to stop the series of bleeding in my country.
Good. Good.
So this is maybe general.
No, but you would do something good with your superpower. Your superpower.
Yeah, I will take many maybe method to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good answer though.
If I were a superhero, I would like to have time control
Okay. All right. And why would you like to have time control?
because if you have time control, you can do everything because you can stop when you think it's better to stop putting your correct place.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like a thing that's going to happen, you go rewind the time
Mm-hmm.
and go before to repeat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. And Ali, what about you?
If I were a superhero, I think I would not to do anything.
You would not do anything.
Yeah, I would be lazy, maybe.
Okay, good. So I think we're almost out of time. I think we'll end the class with that. Ali had a lot of good comments today. So, but thank you all very much for participating. If you have any questions or anything that isn't clear for you, feel free to send me a message either to my on my Verbling teacher page or my Facebook page, whatever. And thank you all for participating. I hope to see all of you in class soon. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay, have a good
Thank you,
day.
teacher.